Hello, everybody. My name is Juan, and this is on Life Unlocked. Today, I'm gonna be talking about addiction and things that revolve around addiction. Why people, go to drugs, alcoholism, drinking, and driving. I got some stories I would like to tell. That I could relate to. Some people that I could tell you why. Some people, go to certain things like for escape, escaping pain, escaping, reality, because they can't handle, some of the hurt, the pain, or something that had happened to them. And, you know, I'm glad that for me, at the age that I am, that I was able to get over my addiction when I did, Um, in 2018, I had gotten severely into a hard drug addiction, and it had caused me to get pretty sick. I lost, let me see, about 76 pounds in, let me see, 76 pounds in 4 months. And what caused me to get clean was I got incarcerated and went back. I went and got a violation of parole after I was released from a correctional facility for juveniles, and I had a parole violation and I was on a hold, and I had been transferred back to my hometown where I had offended for the first time. Where I had grown up on a Native American reservation, to go handle and go to court there. And the day I was sentenced was October 17th, 2018. There was two major dates. The day I was arrested was September 14th, 2018, which is my mother's birthday. I was sentenced on October 17th, 2018. The day that I was in a car crash in 2016 with my friend Matthew due to drinking and driving. And we had both been drinking that morning. It was a Monday morning. It was 3 days after my birthday. My birthday was October 14th. So, you know, we celebrated my birthday on Friday, and it was like a whole weekend thing. And I had stolen some bottles from, a local store, and we had been drinking them the night before, and my friend had stayed the night with me, and instead of me going to school, I was already starting to drink and, smoke and everything like that. Um, we ended up dropping off one of my friends, which was his, I would say, former girlfriend, or, ex-girlfriend, whatever you would call her now, but dropping her off at school, and she asked me if I was going to school, and I said, no, I'm good. And we had already finished this whole 1.7 liter bottle of whiskey, and so we drove back to my house and got the other bottle. And I remember we got back on the interstate and got up on to a overpass, and turned right, and then turned to left. It's like an empty street, and I remember we were going about 85, 90, 95 miles an hour, and we were both really intoxicated. Like, I was really, really intoxicated. Like, I could barely, keep my head up type, it was very hard liquor. And I remember playing, music and everything, and I remember looking down at my phone, and I just remember hearing him saying, "Oh shit," and I looked up, and then I just felt him turn, the wheel. Well, to find out there was a turn railing, to, if a car was speeding and everything. Well, anyways, we ended up turning before, and we ended up sliding and hitting into it, and we ended up flipping. And I remember just being in the, like seat belt, just like, like just everything just spinning, and just like my body like flying out the window, or just the bushes, from the desert, like, just like the boom, 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 and like the, and I just remember waking up to an officer, like trying to pick me up off the ground, and uh, I remember saying, like, go find my friend, go find my friend. I was like, like I could barely breathe and everything, and I just couldn't move. Like, I couldn't move, like, anything. Like, I couldn't even move my neck. I couldn't move, like, anything. I couldn't breathe. Like, me breathing, like, it hurt. And he told me that, no, like, I'm here to watch you. I have to watch you. And another officer in an ambulance had pulled up, and I told them to go look for my friend, and I didn't hear anything. They had put me in an ambulance and took me. They had care flighted me to the major big hospital. And it was a couple hours later that I had found out that my friend had passed away, like, due to instant impact, and it had, you know, instantly killed him. And, I'm not trying to really get into the details about it, but yeah, um, he had passed away, and, I couldn't, and I was sitting in a hospital. They didn't really know what was going on with me. I had, punctured lungs, laceration in my kidney, shattered vertebrae in my back. Um, I had a compound fracture in my ankle, and, I had to get metal plates, because they had to put my ankle back and reconstruct it. I had a lot of brain injury and everything, and sometimes too, like, to this day, I have problems with, like, my vision due to, like, my head getting hit, and, stuff like that. And I just remember, like, as a teenager, you think things are fun and games, and that, nothing's gonna happen, and, like, you're dumb and reckless, and, like, I never really had someone there to influence me, to teach me, like, like, good shit, like I said, I had been incarcerated a lot ever since, I was 11. That was my first commitment. And, I was just being dumb, and, that had cost me, somebody that was a personal friend of mine, his life. And, it still hurts to this day knowing that that had happened. And I don't know, like, I just want people to know, like, yeah, there's, like, serious, like, consequences to actions like this, like, you might not think you're gonna hurt somebody, or you don't think you're gonna affect somebody, or you could, like that, like, we didn't think that, like, but look, like, it caused someone to pass away, for me to, have life-threatening injuries, on my care flight to the major hospital I was going to, before I had surgery and everything. On the way, I had lost consciousness, and had, like, stopped breathing and everything, and I thought I had fell asleep because I was in such critical condition. I remember them pulling me into the hospital before they care flighted me. They had told my mom and my two sisters, like, we want you guys to say your last goodbyes. Like, we don't think he's gonna make it. And uh, like, like, things like that, like, it makes me more thankful to know, like, I could live a better life than what I did, and it sucks because, like, people have to live with the things that they did, or things that affected them. And I just want to, like, like, show that, like, people make mistakes. People, like, there's always a consequence to an action. Either it could be a good thing that you do and there'd be a positive consequence, or, like I said, but, like, that was a very hard one for me. And the other one was when I was, like I said, in my hard drug addiction phase, and it was after this, dealing with this, because, like I said, I had, like, that thing, once I got out of my car crash and went back home, uh, one of my brothers, hit me and all that stuff, and, like, I was, like, told that I was the reason, like, my friend had died, I was always put down, treated like shit, like, stuff like that. So, it was never like I had the, like, support that I needed, and it sucked. And, like I said, like, all that built up pain, like, I didn't know how to deal with it, and it had caused me, like, not saying that it's, like, because of that I did this, but, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I didn't know how else to deal with it. I felt stuck. I had plotted different things, that, like, took the pain away, but never went through, or, so I had went to drugs and had did that because, like, it made me feel like nothing. It made me feel, something that, like, it just made me feel better, because I didn't want to feel like, all the hurt, the hate, the anger that was building inside. And it sucks, like, still having to deal with that, because it's still, like, when all those situations happen, there's still not people taking fault for their actions or admitting that these things were wrong. And I don't, it's like, I'd push away from these type of people, like, that are family, or, like, were close to me. Because, like I said, like, it was hard to get through, like, this, knowing that, it took me to get, like, to go to jail again, knowing that I didn't have, like, shit, like, that's what my living was, like, situation was for a very long time, was, oh, me being in jail every day, waking up in jail, waking up, and, that's, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, that's what led me to my addiction to go deeper and deeper. And I had ran away from home because I was on house arrest, and I had ran away from home the night of Christmas. Actually, I had cut my ankle monitor off, and that was due to another incident that had happened. I had been hit again. Like I said, like, I was very, like, fragile, skinny. Like, I was in, like, like a foot cast. Like, like, it was what, like 2 months after my car crash and everything, and, like, I didn't, like, really go to school. I didn't really go to counseling for it. At that point, I didn't really talk to anybody about it, and it, like I said, it fucked with my head a lot. But what I wanted to say was, like, me going through all of these different situations had grown me to be stronger, like, like, mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, sometimes, yeah, like, right now, like, yeah, talking about it, like, it sucks, because, like, bringing up all these memories and all this past hurt and everything, it sucks, because I've never expressed it to anybody, or, like, like, in, like, a form of, like, this. And you know, after, like I said, after I had cut my ankle monitor off, I had somebody, I was on the run after Christmas, and I had been on, like, a hard drug binge again, and I had somebody message me that I knew from being incarcerated and asking if I was alright, and I remember not answering for a while, like for a couple days maybe. I think it was the 24th I got the message. I didn't message back until the 28th. And that's when I confessed, like, no, I wasn't good. I was fucked up. I was, on the run. I wasn't, in a good headspace. I, you know, um, was still fucked up over the fact that my friend had died. That my brother had treated me like that. My mother had allowed it, or my family in general had allowed it. Um, Let me see. I'm just trying to gather my thoughts again real quick. So like I said, like people, go to addiction for various reasons. Like I said, because like one, they can't deal with their emotions, their pain. Um, like things happen to them that they just don't want to deal with. Like, or just different things like that. And for me, when I was in my addiction stage, in my full addiction stage, I had hurt a lot of people, and I didn't take their feelings into consideration. I didn't like think how they would feel due to the fact that I was selfish in my own ways. And that's hard for somebody that is a, you know has like still an addiction, or somebody that is like like hard to, like, for some people it's hard to admit. But for me, yeah, I know I hurt a lot of people, and I know it was wrong, and I admit that it was fucked up, like, but also in some parts, in, like, some parts of my addiction, I didn't hurt anybody. It was just me hurting myself, internally. And like I said, I'm glad, I had, like I said, I had gotten incarcerated in 2018 again for parole violations. I had gotten out in 2019. I think it was after the first month I was out. Well, I mean, it was like 2 weeks maybe after I was out. I had went to an NA meeting, and because when I was in jail, I had went to the AA meetings every Thursday, and they felt like it felt like interesting, like to hear other people's stories, to hear wisdom from people that have been clean for 15, 30 years off of like hard drugs, or just different things. And it's just like, wow, you know you get different like life advice, or you get inspiration from these older people that like you ain't gonna like like you ain't gonna like get. And also like like being able to relate to somebody else like that. And that for me was a good thing. And so I had gone to one once I was released, and I had kept going after that, and more, and getting involved. And it was very supportive, and for me it felt very good. And like like for different things, it's like for different people it's different things, like like having a support group, like different things, like having positive people in your life, being in a positive community, or living in an environment that you had you know bad experiences and nothing but bad experiences or drama in. Like like for me, I had left um a pretty, like, I had left, like like somewhat of a dysfunctional drama-ish environment, to like where like I'm in a community and I associate with a lot of different people, and like not involved with people like that do drugs, or that are involved in like criminal activity or things like that. And like that's what had kept me also clean, like being away from things like that, or being away from shady neighborhoods, or different things. And you know for me, it was a lot of struggle, because I had barely gotten over mine, and I'm still, you know, um, like struggle. Not, I'm not saying like struggling with it, like struggling with it, like sometimes I'm just like, like people get like the black and white mentality, and like I'm still working on things like that, because like with addiction, it causes different, like it can cause people disorders, or different like pattern cycles, or different things that you know that will keep them the same person that they were, or in like in the same lifestyle and everything. And um yeah, that's like really it. I just wanted to really talk about serious things like that, like why, like some people do it. I gave you guys a couple examples, reasons. Like for me, like I gave you a couple, like two different scenarios for me why I went to drugs. What, like for me, alcoholism, and like the thought of a teenager, and like they're before the situation and everything. And you know stuff like that. I just, yeah, I'm trying to put stuff like that out there. Make people aware that people do struggle, and like people aren't, like, you guys aren't alone. Like for the people that are still suffering. You know, I'm not gonna say go find help, but I hope that you find what's best for you, and fulfill your hopes and dreams, and things like that. Because for me, it took me a long time, and I'm still striving to achieve my goals. Today I had officially graduated from high school. I had my graduation actually today, and that was a big milestone for me, even. And even though I'm like 2 years, almost 3 years late of graduating, I was supposed to graduate in 2018, but it's still a milestone, because I didn't think 2 years ago that I was gonna graduate, that I was gonna go back to school. And now I'm on the path of continuing my education, and going to college, and getting a higher level education, and getting more educating in the field that I'm interested in. And like I said, for the people that are still struggling, or like for the people that have achieved and beat their addiction, I uh I want to say good job. And like it's a hard thing to get over. Not a lot of people get over that. And I just want people to be aware. It's a struggle. It's like a real struggle, because some people do it until till like they don't even realize that they're killing themselves. And like mine had gotten me to that point twice. And like I said, it takes a lot of people. Like a lot of people. It takes a lot of people to realize, that they're hurting themselves or, hurting other people because they don't see it because, their minds are somewhere else or, they're not in this reality or, they're blocked away because of the drugs, they're high, or different things like that. And, I want people to be aware of the after effects. Some people, are lucky enough to come back to a normal, like their normal selves. Sometimes people don't come back to that at all. Some people come back with schizophrenia, different things, and I want people to be aware, like that these things really affect you because, like like especially with like people you don't know or things that you're buying and you don't know what's really in them. It's a it's a risk that it could cause you your life or it can cause you to fry your brain. You could be mentally messed up for the rest of your life. Like all these different things. Or like I said, for me, I failed to realize that it was hurting my health. That it was killing me or that it was hurting me or that yeah me drinking alcohol was gonna put me in like grave danger that put me in ICU, like things like that. I want people to be aware, like these things aren't a joke, like and I want to, like I said, good job for the people that have beat their addiction, and I hope the best for the people that are still addicted, that like are still struggling, to this day or to this time, to this minute, to this second, you know, and I want to take the time to like pray for the kids that have been affected, due to addiction in their lives, not them being addicted, but the people around them affecting them because of their addiction, or the kids caught in the crossfire and being affected or hurt, emotionally hurt, or mentally, messed up, like different things, or I just hope people think about that. And like I said, it's a hard thing to overcome, and I just want to say thank you for everybody that's listening. And like I said, I appreciate it.